In 2005, the movie Stealth hit theaters and introduced audiences to the FA-37 Talon, a jet so futuristic it seemed like pure science fiction, straight out of a dream. With its sleek lines, cutting-edge technology, and menacing silhouette, the Talon looked like something that belonged in a distant future, not on a modern movie set. Its forward-swept wings and aggressive design made it look like a predator from another world, a machine built for speed and agility. But aviation buffs noticed something. This wasn't just Hollywood fantasy. The Talon's design echoed real experimental aircraft, blurring the line between fiction and reality. It was inspired by a real top-secret project, the Switchblade, a program shrouded in secrecy and speculation. Deep inside classified military labs, engineers were wrestling with a challenge. Could one plane be both incredibly fast and agile, breaking the old rules of aviation? For decades, designers had to choose, speed or maneuverability, never both. The laws of physics seemed to demand a trade-off. The Talon in Stealth was Hollywood's answer, a jet that could change its shape for any mission, adapting on the fly. Variable geometry wings, inspired by real-life innovations like the F-14 Tomcat, allowed the Talon to transform mid-flight, making it a true chameleon of the skies. But the real story is about the relentless pursuit to build better, smarter machines, pushing the boundaries of what's possible in aviation. And at the heart of it all is a question that's stumped engineers for over a century. What's the perfect wing shape for every situation? The FA-37 Talon wasn't just a movie prop, it was a glimpse into the real-world struggle to push the limits of flight, inspired by decades of secret research and wild experimentation. Sometimes, Hollywood gives us a peek behind the curtain of military innovation, revealing just how close fiction can come to reality. The story of the Talon is more than fiction. It's a window into the world of impossible engineering, where imagination and science collide. And it all starts with the shape of a wing, a deceptively simple question that leads to endless innovation. The journey from secret labs to the silver screen is full of wild ideas, bold experiments, and the constant drive to outdo what came before. Let's dive into the real science behind the jet that seemed too real to be fake, and discover the truth behind the legend. Because sometimes the truth is even stranger than fiction, and the sky is only the beginning. To truly understand the Talon, you first need to understand the science and art behind wings. Wings are more than just surfaces that keep a plane in the air. They define what an aircraft can do, and what it can't. Picture an albatross. Its long, narrow wings are built for effortless, high-speed gliding over vast oceans, letting it soar for hours with barely a flap. Now think of a sparrow, short, broad wings designed for darting between branches, making quick turns and sudden stops in dense forests. Aircraft face the same trade-off, forced to choose between speed and agility, just like birds. Supersonic jets need thin, swept-back wings to slice through the air at incredible speeds, perfect for outrunning threats, but terrible for tight turns or sudden maneuvers. Dogfighters, on the other hand, need straighter, broader wings for maximum agility, allowing them to outmaneuver opponents. But those same wings create drag at high speeds, slowing them down. For decades, designers had to pick a fast interceptor or a nimble dogfighter. There was no in-between. The dream? One plane that could do both, combine the speed of an interceptor with the agility of a dogfighter. But every design was a compromise, always sacrificing one quality for the other. You could be an albatross or a sparrow, but never both at the same time. This challenge led to some of the wildest, most creative ideas in aviation history. Engineers began to dream of a plane that could actually change its wings to fit the mission, adapting in real time. The quest for the perfect wing shape drove decades of innovation, and even inspired Hollywood's most futuristic jets. The solution would require more than just clever design or imagination. It would demand a true mechanical revolution, pushing the limits of engineering. And that's where things got really interesting, ushering in a new era of aviation possibilities. Enter the swing wing, a single set of wings that could pivot mid-flight. For takeoff and landing, the wings swung forward for lift and control. At high speeds they swept back, transforming the plane into a supersonic arrow. The F-14 Tomcat became the icon of this technology, able to land on carriers and chase down enemy jets. Other swing-wing planes like the F-111 and B-1 bomber followed. The swing wing was a mechanical marvel, but it came at a cost. Heavy pivots, complex hydraulics, and endless maintenance headaches. The technology was brilliant but not perfect. Engineers knew they needed something lighter, simpler, and smarter. The search for the ultimate shape-shifting jet wasn't over. The next idea would be even more radical, and it would look like nothing else in the sky. Northrop engineers dreamed up the Switchblade, a jet with an oblique pivoting wing. Instead of both wings sweeping back, the entire wing pivoted, so one side swept forward and the other back. From above, it looked like a giant pair of scissors. The idea promised less drag at high speeds and more agility at low speeds. NASA even built a small drone, the AD-1, to test the concept. It flew, proving the wild idea could work, but it was tricky to control. The Switchblade was the inspiration for the FA-37 Talon. The real challenge, making a full-sized supersonic fighter with a pivoting wing that was safe and reliable. The technology was ahead of its time, but the dream of a truly shape-shifting jet was alive. While engineers wrestled with moving metal, another revolution was happening: fly-by-wire. This was a shift that would quietly transform aviation, not with new shapes or materials, but with invisible code and digital logic. Instead of relying on heavy cables and complex hydraulics to move control surfaces, pilots now flew through computers, sending electronic signals that translated their intentions into action. Digital flight control systems could make thousands of tiny corrections every second, far faster and more precise than any human hand. This allowed designers to build jets that were intentionally unstable, aircraft that would be impossible for a human to control directly, but a breeze for a computer, which could keep them balanced and agile at all times. The F-16 was the first to fully embrace this radical idea, becoming one of the most agile and responsive fighters ever built, able to outmaneuver its predecessors with ease. Suddenly you didn't need moving wings or complex mechanisms to get both speed and agility in a single airframe. Software could make a fixed-wing jet feel nimble and responsive, adapting instantly to the pilot's commands. It was lighter, cheaper, and more reliable than the old swing-wing designs, reducing maintenance and increasing performance. Modern jets like the F-22 and F-35 are flying computers, packed with sensors and processors that manage every aspect of flight. Today, software is as important as engines or wings, shaping how these machines perform and survive in combat. The digital revolution changed everything, rewriting the rules of what a fighter jet could be. The quest for the perfect wing was now a battle of code, not just metal, a new frontier for innovation. The future of flight was being written in lines of software, by engineers and programmers working side by side. And the age of mechanical shape-shifting was fading, as digital intelligence took the controls. So why didn't the Switchblade ever take flight as a combat jet? The answer: technology and timing. Controlling a full-sized, supersonic oblique wing required software that didn't exist yet. Stealth became the new priority, and the Switchblade's moving parts were a nightmare for radar. Fixed-wing designs with advanced software were cheaper, stealthier, and easier to maintain. The Switchblade was shelved, a brilliant idea, just a bit too soon. But its legacy lives on, inspiring engineers and filmmakers alike. The dream of a shape-shifting jet never truly died. Sometimes the boldest ideas just need to wait for the right moment, and sometimes they find new life on the big screen. The FA-37 Talon and the Switchblade show how Hollywood and real engineering feed off each other. Filmmakers borrowed from secret projects to create believable, jaw-dropping jets. Science fiction inspires real innovation, and vice versa. Today, engineers are exploring morphing wings that flex and ripple like a bird's, using smart materials instead of heavy pivots. The challenge remains: one plane, all missions. The next time you see a wild jet in a movie, remember, it might be closer to reality than you think. The line between science fiction and fact is always blurring. Sometimes it takes a blockbuster to reveal the future hiding in plain sight. And the dream of the perfect wing is still flying somewhere between Hollywood and the hangar.